Hey guys, it's ANicWin. Wow. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing great. I don't even know my own intro at this point. Hi. I'm a little raspy this morning. This is my morning voice. It's not great. I just woke up. Well, I've been awake for a little bit now, but I haven't spoken yet today. I got up, ate my breakfast, brushed my teeth, had my coffee. Not in that order, but but I did all those things. And I did a couple of like warm-up vocalization things, and we're still raspy. I'm typically a afternoon, late evening kind of voiceover gal, and this is just when I happen to have the time available to do this. So we're just gonna roll with it, I suppose. Yeah, happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. I actually start my first class, my first week of my master's program, which is super exciting. I've had the book for a while, like a couple weeks at least now, and I've already started reading and things like that. Super interesting, super engaging. I'm very excited. I'm a little bit nervous. You guys are probably here for the build and I'm talking about my life, but we'll get to it in a second. I'm a little bit nervous just because this is an accelerated program. So even though it's going to take me a little over a year, I would say about a year and a half, so about 18 months to finish it. I don't know, I find that really intimidating. I'm going from 16, 17 week semesters to like 10-week terms, which is just crazy to me, but I'm here for it. We're gonna do it, and that's enough about me. I love this back to school season. It's always my favorite. Syllabi day, I can't get enough. Anywho, this is a build in Brindleton Bay. I'm very into fall right now. I don't feel like that sentence needs more of an explanation, but I'll give you one. I've had enough of summer, and for those of you who know, I do live in Kentucky, in the like north central-ish area. That's about as much as I'm willing to divulge, and it's hot here. And it will be hot here until probably October, which makes me so sad. We don't really get a fall. We have like a week of the leaves changing, and like you have this nice crispy like cool breeze weather, and then it's just wet and gray and cold and gross, and everything looks dead. And it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, that's just the nature of living here, but I love fall. I like how cool it is. I like the season. Spooky season's my favorite. I'm one of those girls. And I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, that's how I ended up in Brindleton Bay. And it took every ounce of my self-control, which apparently is stronger than I thought, because I really thought I'd give in, to not decorate this home for fall. Because it's only August. I felt like that was a bit too much. But like, just know, it's gonna happen eventually. We're coming up on it, so I can't help it. I've already started watching Halloween movies. Like I've been rewatching the Halloween Town. Is it a series? I guess it's a series. I don't know. I don't watch the fourth one. Hold on, I gotta think. So there's Halloween Town. I haven't gotten to it yet. I just finished Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge, and then Halloween Town High is next, and then there's the fourth one, and I don't remember. Maybe that is Return to Halloween Town. They replaced Kimberly J. Brown, and I just wasn't there for it. There was no reason for her to be replaced, and I have nothing against the actress that played Marnie, but like, who are you? You're not the witch I grew up with, so I'm not interested, so I don't watch it. But anyway, that's really kind of what inspired this. Now, I was thinking for this home, because this is going to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, that it's actually a pair of sisters that live here. Now, I haven't fleshed out their story too much. Like, I don't know, actually. I don't know if something tragic happened. I don't know if maybe the sister adopted the younger sister. Like, maybe their parents are just really older. That was a horrible sentence, but maybe their parents are older, and the younger one was like a later in life baby or something like that. That could be a possibility. I think I've used that storyline before. As I'm saying that, it sounds really familiar. Or it could be something a little bit more tragic. I didn't flesh it out. I'm sorry. But I'm thinking one is a teenager, and when I say teenager, I think it's kind of a early teen. So probably like 14, 15 maybe. And the other one is in their 30s. So there's about like a 15-year age gap between the two. So significant, right? They didn't grow up together is what I'm getting at here. And this is their home. So obviously this is the older sister's home. It could be something that was inherited, a family home. It could be the home she purchased when she, moved out and then was ready to buy a home. Or it could be something, I think I already said inherited. I had a third option and I've lost the plot. So we're going to move on. So the inspiration for this home, like the physical shape, was actually, I think, a TikTok. And I'll probably link the TikTok so you can see. It's not dead on, but it's pretty close. Like, you can't see the back. You can't see really anything but the front. And I took some like liberties in most of the build, as one does, because obviously that's probably someone's home in real life if it was filmed for TikTok. And I have no idea. It could have been sampled from a movie. I don't know. I saw it. It was like a classic truck driving up this like road. It's fall. There's pumpkins hanging in a tree. Like, that's the vibe. And it drives down this road and then up the driveway towards this house. And then someone or something, it's probably drone footage is what it looks like slowly makes their way like towards the house, but you never approach the full thing. And yeah, I thought it was cute. Obviously it was my aesthetic. The house is violently yellow, and I've used that word to describe color twice now, but I think so. At least I said it in the Broke family home, but I don't know if I redid that voiceover so that I left that word out. Either way, I said red was a violet color. Anyway, I've derailed the conversation again. The yellow that they chose was really bright. It's not something I would have chosen for my own house, so I stuck with yellow, kind of. I went with a cream siding, which happened to be the one from Cats and Dogs, which just worked out in my favor, but I did not go for that really bright yellow that you'll see in the video. I decided I will link it just so we can all share in the magic of that moment. And because I like to be really transparent of where my inspiration comes from when I use it. I don't always use inspiration. Sometimes it's just an idea in my head. Sometimes it is something I've just completely made up as I rasp again. I don't know what's going on here. But every now and then I'll use a specific image and I will not copy it. Well, I guess it's copying. I'll use it. It's kind of like a reference image. Yeah, that's the word I want. Can you tell I'm still sleepy? But yes, so as I said, you couldn't see the backyard. Since I'm thinking it's a younger person living here or a singles person, and maybe they have a significant other. I don't really think they do, but maybe they do. I decided to kind of throw in this little hot tub area. I did put up some room dividers and I covered it with greenery. Now I thought about using the lattice that we got with high school years, but I didn't like the way that it looked just freestanding. It has a weird, it's kind of like when you freestand a door, it's got like a weird bit of shadow around it. It just didn't look great. And so I went with actual room dividers and I just put some vines and greenery and stuff like that going up it. That was to give it the illusion of some privacy. Does it work? Not really. And it's not completely surrounding the area, so of course you can get back to it. I just think that's a really nice spot to relax and kind of shield you a little bit from maybe your neighbors. I don't know. My thought here, when I was growing up, my parents have a pool. They still have it. It's just nothing fancy. It's just like an above ground pool with the metal. It's got like a metal siding, so it's not like the vinyl one. And it's got a liner and a pump and all of that. But they had that, and it was kind of always tucked away from the house. Like, you couldn't really see the pool from the house unless you were standing in a specific spot. And it was so nice. This is where I'm going with this. It was so nice to just kind of be in a somewhat private spot to relax. Like, you could be on a float and not feel like all eyes were on you. Do you know what I mean? I might be the only one who thinks that that's an issue, but it was just nice to have that sense of solitude. So that's what I was going for the hot tub, but of course it also helps for any sort of like romantic entanglements one might have. So there's room to play out that. And then we did have a little like swing set area just because teens can also use a swing set. There's a bike, there's a water balloon bucket, and my phone, always. I forget to silence it. And then we have like a little grill area with a picnic table just because why not? And then I throw in this flower arranging table, and I actually think this is for the teen sister. And you noticed, or you may have noticed, the bug boxes and the flower bed on the opposite side of this fence. I think it's for the younger one. I think maybe she's into horticulture. Maybe she takes a like class at her high school and she got really into it, and her sister's like, yeah, I'll support this hobby. And she's just kind of like helping her foster that love of gardening. It couldn't be me. I don't have a green thumb, but I've always wanted one, so I'm a little bit jealous of that idea. I also think that flower arranging is like a lost art. It's gorgeous when people do it well, and I think that's so fun. I'm not one of those people, so again, a little bit of jealousy there, I think, but that was the thought there. I'm sorry if you can hear me swallow so much. I'm trying to prevent that from happening. But then we work on the entry hall. I think I left every room in the build. I may have gotten rid of the upstairs bathroom, but I tried to leave this build completed just because it wasn't really that long, and I don't know. When I watch speed builds, I like the longer the better, in my opinion, but I also like seeing every aspect of the build coming together. Also, you may notice a quality difference here. So I use G-Shade, and my preferred preset, I think, is called Herbal Haze. I think it also might be Watermelon Milk. I can never remember until I'm like staring at it, but I go back and forth between those, and I think I was on the Dove reshade, Dove 2.0 for this one, and it's not reshade, but it's the preset. It's the same thing as reshade, but it was making like, so you have to turn off edge smoothing, which is fine, but it makes things look really jagged sometimes, and I don't love that. So when I got inside, the lighting was really weird. It's yellow, first of all, and it just looked different. So I turned my edge smoothing back on, which keeps like the color overlay, but it gets rid of like the depth effect. I don't really mind that. So if you notice a change, that's what that was. Also, I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, and maybe it's the windows I'm using and it's not actually the G-Shade or the game, but sometimes when I build and like I put lights and stuff in, the rooms are nice and light and bright and I can see what I'm doing. If I save the game, close it, and I come back, like if I have to finish it later, at a later time, everything looks really dark. Like I almost have to double up on lights, and at first I thought, no, it's just you're just being crazy. And then I keep having to do it. So I'm like, maybe it's not me. Maybe it is the game. Or maybe it is me. Maybe it's my computer. I have AMD like processor and graphics card and all that stuff. Might be the same thing. I'm not a computer person, but all of my stuff is AMD. I don't have NVIDIA, and it doesn't play well with Microsoft. Like they don't like one another. I have issues constantly, I feel like, and neither one of them are like working to resolve the difference of opinion is what I'm calling it. So I feel like my graphics suffer at the hands of that, but it's fine. It's okay. It does what I needed to do, so it's fine. But that was the downstairs bathroom. I did try to do a walk-in shower. It does work. I play tested. I play tested before I did the voiceover, and I didn't have to make any changes other than lowering this TV because I didn't realize how high it was. So that's the only change. Everything else works. You can access every bed, every toilet, every shower. You can cook. You can get to every spot in this house. The only thing you can't access, and I knew that going into it, is the bookshelf that is behind the couch that I'll place. And I don't know if you can access the bookshelf on the fireplace, so I didn't do that component, but you don't really need to be able to. You can just click on the bookshelf, select open, and then you can drag whatever book you want your sim to read into their inventory and they'll read it. So it's not like, even if you can't walk up to it, it's not like you're just trapped with no way to read a book, right? Like you can still do it. You just won't have the animation of them going up to the bookshelf. as I swallow. I was also really worried about this dining table causing routing issues. I had none. They sat in every seat. They walked around it just fine. So that was pleasant news. I decided to make a little nautical clock here on the wall. Maybe this was their dad's or something like that. Does it look the best? Not really. The clock sticks out a little bit too much, but I liked it. So I loved it. I thought it was kind of tacky, and I enjoy tacky, so there we have it. And I feel like this is their mother's hutch, so maybe that's some of their like fine china and stuff like that that's been handed down through the ages, and it just sort of lives in the dining room now because neither girl knows what to do with it. I wouldn't eat off of it because I'd be terrified I'd break it. So if I inherited something like that, it would definitely live in an enclosure like that. Then we head to the kitchen, and I like this kitchen. I wanted to clutter it a little bit more, but I decided not to. And I know, oh, by the way, I know the living room is on the smaller side. That was intentional. I just felt like a house like this would have a smaller living room. It wouldn't be like this big, luxurious, open living space. And I was fine with that. It felt real to me. I don't know, maybe it's not. I've never lived in a house this style, but it felt realistic. Anyway, the kitchen, I wanted to clutter it up a little bit more because there's a ton of wall space and there's a ton of like open countertop. But I'm trying really hard to be more cognizant of the fact that group cooking or cook with is a feature that we have. And some people do like to use it. It aids their storyline. And I typically leave one countertop open and I mess up the rest of them. And I tried very hard not to do it. But there is still some clutter. So we have this little coffee bar area, I think in that little goose, or is it a duck? I think it's a goose. That little container, the metal one, the 10 on the left, is tea. I think in the other ones are like coffee, cream, and sugar. And I don't know why you'd leave cream on the counter unless it's powdered. That makes sense. Okay, we're good. And then they have that little bucket of apples. They've got some herbs growing in the tins above the sink, which I think is funny. And then really this back corner here is the only super cluttered part, and I don't even go that crazy. I just sort of place a plant. It's my go-to plant. If we hadn't gotten paranormal stuff, I don't know what plant I would be using. And a little candle with their cutlery, like cooking utensils and stuff like that. We place some herbs above the stove. I didn't want to leave it too big because I'm terrified of it catching on fire, because that happened with the Broke Family trailer that I posted last Monday. And a little casserole dish. And that's pretty much it for the kitchen. Everything else is decorative. I will say I really like this space. I like that the stairs come down into the kitchen. It just felt really cozy and homey, even though it was kind of open and large. Then we move up to the upstairs hallway, and this is nothing fancy. We have some like degrees and certificates and things like that on the wall that we got with high school years. I just hadn't used it yet. Another captain's wheel nautical thing. I don't know what that's called. I think it's a captain's wheel. And then I place it's technically a dresser, but it looks like a linen cabinet. I place that at the top of the stairs because there is a bathroom in the teens room, and there's a bathroom which would be the master downstairs. So I feel like if you were on the way to take a shower, you could grab your towel from up here, and it was just like a universal like linen closet type thing that is movable. And then we hop into the teens room. Now, she gets a console table rather than a dresser, but I'm imagining that that's her dresser. And this room is very bright, for lack of a better word. It's very bright. It's kind of eclectic. I'm gonna hiccup as per usual. I kind of feel like she's into like the horoscopes thing. Like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, she's into the moon. She makes moon water. She's obviously into flowers. There's probably like, I don't want to say like hippie child. I don't want to put her in any specific category, but I just feel like she's just kind of into that thing right now, and it might change, as she gets older, because interests do change. But that's just kind of the vibe that I got from this teen as I was moving through this. And I think she's also into singing, so I did give her the mic, and I also gave her the knitting basket. And I don't know, I just feel like she's creative. She's a lot of things, this teen. I had to stop myself from like rambling on there. Now, I thought this poster was the moon phases, but I actually realized that that's the rug, so I go ahead and throw that into, and I'm imagining that maybe that poster is a poster of her star sign or something like that. And then we have a plant. That's pretty much it for her room. There is absolutely the opportunity to kind of move things around, take things out, and really customize that space if you like the vibe, but you don't like the options that I chose, if that makes sense. And then we move on to her bathroom. I decided that she got the ensuite just because it was going to be a smaller bathroom and a smaller room, and it made sense in my head. I don't know. I use this mirror. I don't think I've ever used this mirror before, and I decided to clutter up the shelf on the top. She has a simple shower, the sink, toilet. That's really it for her bathroom. It gets the job done, which is really all you can ask for, right? And she does have some pink notes in this room, whereas her bedroom is blue. I didn't really think about that. I just sort of did. And then this is the other sister's bedroom. It's a little bit not my style. It's a lot of bit not my style, actually, but it felt right to the home. I had it going a completely different direction at first, and I just didn't like what I was doing, so I stripped it back, and I just started to place what felt right, like instinctively, and this is where we landed. So I don't know. I don't know. This one was just instinct guiding me. It wasn't really any conscious decision, which maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But I'm actually going to leave you guys here to finish up the build. You're going to finish her room, and then you move on to that little balcony, and both are kind of short. So hopefully you enjoy the rest of it. You can feel free to leave a like or comment down below letting me know what you think. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram as per usual if you want to hop over there and check those out. There's never any pressure to do anything, so do what you will as long as it makes you happy. I will see you on Monday with my next video, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
Won't you sing with me? Leave everything for me. Stay the night. Oh, miss your flight. Walk through the rain with me. Get soaked to the skin, feel free. Shut the world out. Let's hang